This is a story that came out February 9th, 2018, NBC News. I'll leave the link to this article in the description box. Americans are abusing over-the-counter drugs as well as opioids, study shows. Americans aren't just abusing prescription opioid painkillers. They're taking too much of the over-the-counter stuff as well. Nearly 1 in 5 users of popular headache remedies like Advil or Aleve admit exceeding the recommended daily maximum dose during a 1 week period, according to a new study led by a Boston University School of Health researcher. And while people who pop too many non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, NSAIDs like these aren't likely to move on to heroin the way patients who get hooked on opioids have. They raise their risk for serious health problems. Well, everything leads to serious health problems in America, including the food. These drugs can have serious side effects, including gastrointestinal bleeding and heart attacks, and are often taken without medical oversight. Lead researcher Dr. David Kaufman, a professor of epidemiology and BU School of Public Health, told NBC News in an email. The attitude that users can choose their own dose regardless of label directions, along with poor knowledge of dosing limits, is associated with exceeding the daily limit, he said. Kaufman researched his conclusion by having 1,326 adults keep drug diaries for a week between 2015 and 2016. The average age of the participants was 45. 3/4 of them were white, and some 60% were women, according to the study. Some 87% took ibuprofen, like Advil or Motrin, but 37% also took other NSAIDs, like aspirin or naproxen. Aleve. Okay, I know what they're talking about. The result, over 15% of the participants took too many pills on one or more of the days during a week. And participants who were in the worst shape, particularly those suffering from chronic pain, were more likely to exceed the dose limit. Asked if the prescription painkillers could be trying to avoid getting hooked on highly addictive opioids, which have been ravishing the nation, Kaufman said he didn't think so. My guess is that while avoidance of opioids may influence prescribing decisions by doctors, it may not affect consumer behavior very much, he told the Chicago Tribune. Dr. Kaufman, who heads the Yale University Prevent Research Clinic, wasn't involved in Kaufman's study, agreed that Advil or Aleve abusers weren't going to graduate to fentanyl. But there is a link. My point is that there is a lot of chronic pain in our culture, much of it poorly managed, he wrote in an email to NBC News. Opioids are one response to that, but not the only one. In an earlier interview, Katz called the opioid plague a window to a less publicized crisis of chronic, inadequately managed pain. When narcotics are not being used to manage such pain, NSAIDs often are, Katz said. That a substantial subset of those relying on NSAIDs are using them ill-advisedly or excessively is rather to be expected under these circumstances. Earlier this week, Florida nurse Catherine Locker lectured patients about over-the-counter remedies and flu. Yeah, I remember that, and it went viral. Um, so here's my thoughts on this whole thing. America won't admit this, but everything in this nation is very poor, from dieting to how they even sell these over the counter drugs. And now they're complaining about all the opioid junkies that are running into the pharmacy to get the Imodium AD because it's an opioid. You know, if you're upset about these things, then why are you marketing and selling it? And this stuff is marketed on TV too. So this society has never had a problem marketing drugs, whether it's a prescription drug, because I've seen them um, in commercials on TV, or over the counter drugs. When you promote stuff like that, why are you shocked that it's being abused? You shouldn't be. You should not, you shouldn't be shocked at all. And many times people that use over-the-counter drugs, they don't wanna go to a doctor. A lot of times they try to find their own remedy and just not go to a doctor at all. But I'm not surprised that over-the-counter drugs are being abused. I'm not surprised that America is hooked on drugs. You damn near could say this is a drug nation. And the epidemic goes on and on and on with no end in sight. Now you have the flu epidemic that's taking a lot of people out. And I was just watching our queen, your radical um, sister. I hope I'm probably saying that, your radical home sister. um, it just did an article about the high level of deaths that are going on in California, and it's cancer deaths. So there's a lot of dying going on in America right now. And it's so many things, you almost lose count. So many people are checking out of here now. But tell me what you think. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell twice. Also, join me on Black Junction TV and blackspot.com. Peace, family.